What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the classroom for today's edition of NDD. And with the news last week on Friday that the House vs. NCAA settlement was approved, we know, right, wrong, or indifferent, the landscape of college sports has been forever changed. And on the heels of that decision, which brought an end to 3 separate federal lawsuits, which accused the NCAA of basically illegally slowing the earning abilities of players, EA Sports, the gaming giant, comes out and announces major news of its own. This weekend, the company said it'll pay universities for using the names, images, and likeness of the different school. So if you play as Akron, if you play at Notre Dame, whatever it might be. The money, however, is going to be paid, and here's the key, based on how much given teams are used in the game. So if you go nuts with Notre Dame, Akron, Florida State, it's potentially more earning power for those universities. And what this simply means is the more popular each of the 136 FBS schools that'll be featured in the game are, the more the universities get paid. And the announcement follows one made by EA in March of this year, stating that any college athletes who opt to license themselves in the game will be paid significant amount of money for the college football edition of EA Sports. That amount, according to the company, there's no slouch fee here, $1,500, and that was a raise in pay from last year, which was a 3-figure number in the $600-700 range. College Football 26, the popular video game line, will be released this summer on July 10th, so you just keep getting piggyback news here, and what does it all deal with? The green. And you could be all about players earning money. You could hate it. Regardless, as I said at the top of the show, the game, no pun intended, is literally changing, and EA Sports stepping up their game here with a new announcement that says, yeah, cool, if you want to use your likeness in the game, you'll get paid individually, but the more popular given teams are, the more money their universities will earn. So that's a huge breaking edition of news coming on the heels of that House NCAA settlement. As far as recruiting is concerned, and this is a great one, 27 linebacker Ellis McGaskin has completely, it looks like, from what I've heard, discussed, and read, is just falling in love with the University of Notre Dame and was raving about his trip to Irish Invasion last week, and why not? Stud 4-star prospect, took the time to get to know the landscape last week in what was his first visit to campus. And those of us that have been there know it's imposing for all the right reasons. The dome, the stadium, just the layout of the campus off the lake. It's beautiful, and it can be very impactful, not to mention you're stepping on the campus of a university that offers you one of the best educations in America. Now, for the 6'1", 205-pound linebacker, he's already got an offer on the table from Marcus Freeman. Got that back on Pot of Gold Day on St. Patrick's Day of this year. And now that the interest is growing for his services, the kid from Alabama is making Notre Dame one of his priorities. Great relationship with linebackers coach Max Bulla, and he's been a key component of the recruiting aspect for McGaskin, which you love. So there's camaraderie there, there's communication and conversation. And when you like the positional coach that you could potentially play for, also including the head coach, it resonates, it lasts. That's how the building blocks of recruiting classes are built. And McGaskin looks like he could very well be a part of this coming out of the 27 class. Now you've got Michigan, Missouri, Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Florida State, Ohio State, a slew of other offers on the table. But I think it goes without saying, and I think we would all agree, especially those of you who follow the recruiting world very intently, that this would be a massive get for Marcus Freeman if he's able to land McGaskin. You have a 2026 class that's top 3, depending on how you view it. And at the end of the 26 cycle, I mean, you could see Notre Dame potentially having the best recruiting class, following the heels of that with a loaded 27 class and getting a player like Ellis McGaskin at a very important position at linebacker would be crucial for Marcus Freeman and company. So this is going to be a fun one on the heels of Irish Invasion to keep an eye on. Staying in the recruiting world, Elijah Golden, he's been a name the last couple of weeks, and he's obviously very intrigued by the Dome himself. Again, I've said it time and time again because it is relevant and it is important. The 27 class is a powerhouse. The 26 class is a powerhouse already. But the construction of this is not done, and it shouldn't be. There's still time. You want more. One of the players, as mentioned, is defensive lineman Elijah Golden, 6'3", 260, run stuffer from Cardinal Mooney in Sarasota, Florida, plays his high school ball for head coach Jared Clark, who was an 03 graduate of Notre Dame, served time as a QB, and then wound up finishing his career as a tight end. But this kid's got a handful of visits coming up. But as far as that is concerned, there's great news for Notre Dame. Golden's already taken visits to Virginia Tech and Oklahoma, and he's set to travel to Tuscaloosa to meet with the Tide. That comes on June 13th. He'll visit South Bend on June 20th, and the significance there is, outside of just getting him to campus, that's going to be the final visit on his calendar. And again, that is great news for Notre Dame. You know, they get final crack last licks at the DL services. And all in all, the buzz around it feels great. And the fact that this young man is wrapping up his trips with the Golden Dome in 2 weeks is even better. So if you're a Notre Dame fan, feel free to feel fairly confident about this. Because if you're able to bulk up that defensive line in this class with a get like this absolute run beast in Golden, you've done even better than what you've already been doing with this class, and we know how good that has been. So this is an exciting time, and when you're in pursuit of a player like this and the mutual respect, love, and admiration is there, I don't want to say it's all systems go, but 2 thumbs up right now. It is looking damn good for Notre Dame. And again, we could keep sharing all the love, all the comments, all the questions, whatever it might be. I love the mailbag in the YouTube comments. Keep doing it. And the platform continues to grow because of you, and I'm greatly appreciative of everything you've done to subscribe and invest in this new venture here through Fan Arch Notre Dame Daily. I've said it many times. I love being a teacher. I'm sitting in my classroom today. My baseball team's got a semifinal playoff game, so we're gearing up for that. But to be able to do this with you has been just a spectacular layer. And just some of the mailbag that came in over the weekend. Jason said Saturday that the recent House versus NCAA settlement is a sad day for college football. Whatever school has the most money will get the best players. And Jason, it's hard to disagree with you. And as I've said, the group of 5 schools, mid-majors, we talked about the Olympic sports, the fencers, the swimmers, tennis, golf, whatever it may be, they're going to take a hit. And it's not going to be an easy one. But it's hard to disagree with what Jason said, because there can be a different allocation of money here. But the smaller schools, you hate to say it, they're going to take a bath. Patrick noted over the weekend that he's excited about the quarterback battle between C.J. Carr and Kenny Minchie. How can you not be? They're battling for the QB1 role. And look, everybody's going to be excited about this. And regardless of the reports that seem to indicate that KM has a slight edge, if we can call it that, the fact that both are gearing up at a high level is great news for Marcus Freeman. Moving forward, QB, any team, any level, high school, pro, juniors, college, whatever it might be, it's the most important position on the field. Notre Dame's going to have a new one, whether it's the sophomore Minchie or the freshman Carr. Regardless, the talent is there, the football IQ is there for both, and it's going to be fun to continue to track this, regardless of what side of the aisle you may be standing on. Again, I appreciate the feedback. Keep the mailbags coming. We'll update the show every single day. For right now, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you all tomorrow. And as always, go Irish.